Well, hello everyone. I appreciate everyone that is logged in tonight for our first ever official HOBY JCI USA partner call. So really the purpose of tonight's phone call is to spend just a little bit of time informing JCI USA members about this new national partnership and this new initiative, and giving some background on HOBY and sort of its long-standing relationship with JCI. It's kind of a well-kept secret that we want to kind of change. And also online, I've got Cheryl Bren as well with me, and she is from HOBY International. So if you hear another person chime in, Cheryl is a fantastic resource and asset. She's also been, I believe, a JCI member as well, so she's well adept on both sides of with both organizations. And so just as a heads up, my background, just again, my name is Ryan Anderson. My background is with both organizations is pretty well established. I've been a volunteer for HOBY since 1998, and I've had a variety of roles. I've been a leadership seminar chair at the local level. I have had the privilege in Iowa of being a board president, as well as currently I'm doing some development work, raising funds for HOBY in Iowa, where I live, and then on the JCI side, I'm at the state vice president, and I'm also had some local leadership roles as well, including the president of the Des Moines, Iowa chapter. So I'm fairly familiar with both organizations and pretty excited to get the word out about this partnership. So first off, it's always good to get a background about any organization. And by the way, this is pretty open architecture. There is a chat function, so if questions come up, feel free to type a question and I'll do my best to get to it as questions come up. I will also leave plenty of time at the end for Q&A that I'm happy to address. So don't hesitate to jump on as well. So first off, the mission of HOBY, what's it all about? Well, we're really here as a volunteer organization to try to inspire and develop a global community of youth and volunteers that are dedicated to a lifelong of continued leadership, service, and innovation. And really, we're here to motivate and empower individuals to go out and to make a positive difference within the global community. And I think that you'll see that there's a ton of congruence between JCI values and HOBY values. They kind of fit hand in glove together. HOBY's been around for a long time. It's been around since 1958, and it's been fulfilling that mission by providing development opportunities for high school students around the world. And now what's critical is to understand that HOBY is not just any other nonprofit. It's primarily an apolitical, non-religious, all-inclusive youth leadership organization. And we do have a focus on diversity and being a very, very open, welcoming nonprofit group. So that's a very key part of what it is that we do. Just a very few quick facts about HOBY before we jump into some of the meat. We started with 26 ambassadors. We call our students ambassadors. That's sort of some HOBY nomenclature. Those are the students that go through, and they are sophomores in high school generally for the leadership program. They've wrapped up their sophomore year and are kind of rolling towards their junior year in high school. We've been around again for about 60 years and have almost 450,000 alum that we're very proud of, doing some really amazing projects and life-changing stuff around the world. We have 70 leadership seminars. Almost each state has one. Some of our larger states have more than one leadership program. And our ambassadors represent over 7,000 U.S. high schools. And so generally, per annum, we have over 10,000 students that are going through our programs. So this isn't a small initiative. This is really, it's pretty amazing what HOBY can pull off with, by and large, volunteer support, so to speak, from a very active and engaged alumni network. There is a small paid staff of HOBY International, which we're headquartered out of the Los Angeles area. But again, by and large, we're really focused and supported by a lot of great volunteers. And so the story behind HOBY goes back again to the late 1950s. Hugh O'Brian, for those that are unaware, was an actor. He was known probably most pervasively as Wyatt Earp in the cowboy TV show. And and he really respected and looked up to Albert Schweitzer, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Albert Schweitzer, and he really just looked up to him. And Schweitzer had a strong belief that the most important thing in education is to teach young people to think for themselves, to give them the tools to go out and seek out their own answers and to become critical thinkers. And he went down, and Hugh went down to Africa to visit um, Schweitzer, and Schweitzer was doing some amazing work putting up hospitals in Africa, and he just, Hugh looked around, and Hugh comes, as kind of a young guy, probably in his 30s at the time, and is living kind of a young sort of lavish lifestyle because he's a young guy that's single and has money, and he's like, man, I am so blessed and really privileged to have the background I do, and he has this life-changing moment with Schweitzer in Africa, and Schweitzer says, listen, you're saying, you've had this life-changing moment. What are you actually going to do with it? So he came back to the U.S. and he endowed and formed HOBY, the Hugh O'Brian Youth Leadership Group. And the format was simple: bring a select group of high school students, sophomores, who had strong leadership skills, and then get them to interact with local business leaders, educational and government leaders, and professionals, and let the magic sort of happen. And so that was a very simple equation that's created just a real powerful equation that's produced some very neat results. So I thought it'd be good to give you just a bit of background, JCI members, on the leadership basics. All right, so generally these are 3 or 4 day long weekend focused seminars with a variety of workshops and other hands-on experiential activities that allow students to learn about leadership and community service. We do, one of the very important things to understand is we do use a curriculum that's fairly rigorous and academic in nature, called the social change model. And students sort of learn to approach leadership with a greater sense of self-awareness, collaboration, and purpose, all with the goal of creating positive change. Again, all this should actually sound somewhat familiar because, again, a lot of JCI's active citizenship framework, I'll speak to that in a few minutes, really fits very well, and there's a lot of synergy between the two groups. So just a quick background on the social change model for those that are unaware. It's sort of the congruence, or actually I should say the confluence of 3 levels of leadership: individual / self, society, and then group values, and sort of the intersection of all 3. So focusing on the consciousness of self and having a commitment to individual values and how that works with that next level up, which is group values, and kind of coming up with a common purpose and in a collaborative nature, and being able to tackle controversy with civility, and then overall citizenship at a global level. And I think these are all areas and characteristics that in this day and age, I think we could all use a little bit more of, and a little more training and a little more exposure on. And I think JCI is really, sets the trend in doing this, and I think a lot of folks as well really on HOBY would also fit into these core values as well. So a few basic things about the social change model: leadership is collaborative. It's a process, right? Meaning it's iterative. It's not a one and done. It's a sort of a consistent, lifelong process. It's based on values, and those values have to undergird every part of that process. And all students can do leadership.